The year is 216 BCE. At Cannae, a Roman army of 86,000 men faces Hannibal's force of 50,000. By sunset, 70,000 Romans lie dead in what should have been an impossible defeat for the world's most powerful military. Yet within a generation, those same Roman legions will drive Hannibal from Italy and burn Carthage to ash. How does an army suffer one of history's most catastrophic defeats and emerge stronger than ever? The answer lies in understanding what made the Roman military the most terrifying force the ancient world had ever seen. Forget everything you think you know about ancient warfare. This wasn't about individual heroes or brutal savagery. The Roman army was something entirely new under the sun. The world's first truly professional military machine, engineered for one purpose: total victory through systematic destruction. The foundation of Roman military dominance wasn't courage or equipment. It was something far more revolutionary: discipline. Not the hollow discipline of mindless obedience, but the calculated discipline of men who had transformed warfare into a science. Every Roman soldier was a cog in a machine designed to kill efficiently. Their training didn't just prepare them for battle, it reprogrammed them. Gladius work against wooden posts until muscle memory made killing automatic. Formation drills repeated until thousands of men could maneuver as one organism. Marching practice that could move legions across continents while maintaining perfect order. The Roman manipular system was military genius made manifest. Unlike the Greek phalanx, a rigid wall of spears that broke under pressure, Roman formations were fluid, adaptable, deadly. 3 lines of infantry: hastati, principes, triarii. When the front line tired or faced trouble, fresh troops cycled forward seamlessly. It was like fighting an enemy that never got tired, never lost momentum. But here's what made Roman legions truly terrifying. They learned from every defeat. Cannae wasn't just a disaster, it was a laboratory. Roman military minds dissected what went wrong, adapted, evolved. They studied Hannibal's tactics and made them Roman. They identified weaknesses in their system and engineered solutions. The Roman military's adaptability was unprecedented. Against Germanic tribes, they developed forest warfare tactics. Against Parthian horse archers, they created new formations and equipment. Against Celtic chariots, they innovated countermeasures. Every enemy taught them something new, and they absorbed those lessons like a military sponge. The logistics alone should have been impossible. A Roman legion on campaign wasn't just 5,000 soldiers. It was a mobile city. Camp followers, engineers, medics, supply trains, siege equipment. Yet this massive organization could move 20 miles a day across any terrain, building fortified camps each night, maintaining supply lines across thousands of miles. Roman siege warfare elevated destruction to an art form. At Jerusalem in 70 CE, they built a wall around the entire city, not to break but to starve everyone inside. At Masada, they constructed a massive ramp directly up a cliff face when conventional assault seemed impossible. When Romans wanted your city, they didn't just attack it, they reimagined the very concept of what was possible. The standardization was what made Roman legions unstoppable across centuries. A centurion from Caesar's Gallic campaigns could have stepped into Trajan's Dacian wars a century later and known exactly how everything worked. Same equipment, same tactics, same organization. Roman military doctrine wasn't just consistent, it was continuously refined across generations. Roman military engineering integrated seamlessly with combat operations. Legions didn't just fight, they built roads, bridges, fortifications, siege engines. Every soldier was a warrior and an engineer. This meant Roman armies could operate in terrain that would stop other forces cold, could maintain supply lines others couldn't dream of, could create tactical advantages through construction. The centurionate system created a professional officer corps that was the envy of the ancient world. These weren't aristocrats playing at war. They were career soldiers who had risen through merit, survived decades of combat, mastered every aspect of military science. They provided continuity, expertise, and leadership that transformed citizen soldiers into military professionals. Roman training was systematically brutal because Roman warfare was systematically brutal. Soldiers practiced with weapons twice the weight of combat gear, trained in formations that were more complex than they'd face in battle, marched distances that made campaign movement seem easy. When Romans finally entered combat, war felt easier than training. The psychological warfare was as sophisticated as the tactical. Roman military pageantry, the eagles, the standards, the perfect formations, was designed to break enemy morale before battle began. The systematic brutality after victory, crucifixions, enslavements, city destructions sent messages that echoed across continents. Resistance was futile because Romans made it so. But perhaps most terrifying of all was Roman military patience. Other armies sought quick victories. Romans engineered inevitable ones. They would spend years preparing for campaigns, decades planning conquests, generations perfecting strategies. Time was their ally because they had systematized warfare to the point where the outcome was predetermined. The Roman army didn't just win battles, it won the concept of military organization itself. Every effective army since has borrowed Roman innovations. Professional soldiers, systematic training, flexible tactics, integrated logistics, engineering support, merit-based promotion. When we think of military excellence, we're still thinking Roman thoughts. The Roman army didn't just conquer the Mediterranean, it conquered the future of warfare itself. 2,000 years later, we're still learning from the legions that made Rome master of the world.